guys, it's Amy, and you have found Amy Loves Crochet. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. I really do appreciate your time. Today I want to share a little tutorial with you, another project out of my 86 Stitches crochet guidebook. And this is what the project looks like in the book. When I was looking at it, I thought that those little bobbly guys looked a lot flatter, but as you can see, they kind of pop up to be quite the bobble. And so that gives you kind of an option. You can have this very, very textured side. This looks like actually what I saw in the book. So this could be your front side if you like them to be a little bit flatter. And then I worked up a little swatch to show you in another yarn and having them go back to back. If you want them alternating, you can do that as well. Have one on the front and have one on the back. So it's really up to you whether you want it to be a reversible, whether you want the sides to be the same as each other or not. The example I'm going to show you is going to be in worsted weight, so you can see the difference in another kind of yarn. So come on down to tabletop with me and I'll show you how I worked up this stitch. This is yarn that I received in a Mary Maxim mystery bag last year. I had never seen it before. I had never used it before. Some of these labels are a little bit difficult to read if you're not used to it. 20% polyamide, 80% acrylic. So I see this, and yes, I can look it up and I can know going forward now, but it's still, I just was a little bit sketchy ever trying to jump into it, and I would start to use it and just not like how it was turning out. Like the hook size is just what my issue always is. So I used a 4 and it was a little bit small for this. So I went up to a 4.5 and liked that just fine for the scarf. Probably could have even gone up to a 5. But if you've got this, don't be afraid to jump into it. It is super duper soft, and I really liked it. So I'll still be looking, and I have a whole bunch of this one. So I'll be looking for something that is very pink, that's something that needs to be very pink so that I can use that one. But yeah, if you think these colors might go together for something, leave that comment down below. I'm not one that puts colors together very easily, so if this is something that you can foresee would go together well on a specific pattern, let me know. So all right, let's just jump right into the tutorial now. So this project is done in a count of a multiple of 5 plus 3, and I am going to go ahead and do 18 chains. So you decide how long you want your project to be and count 5, 5, 5, 5, 5 all the way across, and then add 3 more at the end. So once you have your desired number of chains on your hook, come on back and I'll meet you to start the first row. So my chain is 18 stitches long, and we are going to start row 1, and it's all single crochets. So what you're going to do is go into the second. So here's the first one, so here's the second one. We're going to go right in there with a single crochet, and all the way across the row we're going to do single crochet in every stitch across. So you should have one less count than the chains that you started with. I started with 18 chains, so now I'll have 17 count for my project. Go ahead and single crochet all the way across, and I will meet you at the end. So once you've got your chain complete, your first row of single crochets, we're going to do a chain 3 and turn. 2 and 3. Now this is going to be the row of blocks and bars. So our row starts out with 2 bars on the side. So here's your first double crochet going into that first stitch. So we're going to do a double crochet in the next stitch. All right. Then we're going to do a chain 1 and skip 1. So into the next stitch, we're going to do a block. And a block consists of a double crochet. Go ahead and get a double crochet put in there. And then we're going to work around the post. We're going to yarn over and go around the post and then grab our yarn and go through 2, like we're starting a double crochet, but we're not going to finish it. And we're going to do a few of those. We're going to do that 4 times. So yarn over and go behind your post like this and grab your yarn and come back. And yarn over and go through 2, like you're starting a double crochet, and then stop. And we're going to want to do that 4 times. So you'll have a total of 5 loops on your hook when we're done with this. Yarn over, go around, pull up through 2, and then there's our 5. You're going to yarn over and pull through all of that at once, and that's what your block stitch is. Okay. So now we're going to chain 1, and we're going to skip 1. So here's where our block stitch comes out. So we're going to skip this one and go into the next 2 with a double crochet in each one. And that's our 2 bars. Okay, and then we're going to chain 1, skip 1. Here's where the double crochet comes. So we're going to skip that one, and we're going to go into the next one with a bar, with a block stitch. So again, that's a double crochet, and then we're going to yarn over and go back around that post and pull through 2. Yarn over, go around the post, grab your yarn and come up, yarn over and go through 2. Yarn over, go around your post, grab that yarn and come up, yarn over and pull through 2. One more time. Yarn over, go around your post, pull that yarn back up, yarn over and go through 2, like you were doing a double crochet. So now you've got 5 loops on your hook, and we're going to yarn over and go through all of it. Whoops. Okay, so then chain 1, and we're going to skip 1. So here's where the block comes out. We're going to skip this one and go right into that next one with a double crochet. And the guy next to him as well is a double crochet. We're going to chain 1, we're going to skip 1 and do a block in that next spot. So that consists of a double crochet. Oops, sorry. Double crochet, yarn over, go around the post, grab the yarn and come up, yarn over and go through 2. You want to do that 4 times. Yarn over, go around the post, grab your yarn, pull up, yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over, go around the post, grab your yarn, come back up, yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over, go around the post, grab your yarn, come back up, yarn over, pull through 2. You should have 5 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through all of that. We finished a block stitch. You're going to do a chain 1, skip 1, and then you're going to end your row with 2 double crochet in the last 2 stitches. Okay, so that is what it looks like from the row that you're working at, from the side that you're working it. Let me come out a little bit. So see how they're flat from this side, but when you turn them over, that's where the puff comes out, or the bobble or whatnot, the texture, the height. So it's up to you whether you want to do 3 rows of single crochets like in the scarf, or if you want to play with it like I did here, there's only 1 row of single crochets, so they're right on top of each other. Basically they're super close, and the row of 1 single crochet allows your bobbles to be on the same side. An odd number of rows will be that the bobbles are on the same side. If you want to alternate your bobble row so that it shows on front, on back, on front, on back, then you're going to do 2 rows of single crochet. So that's up to you how you want to go from there. Can you see that? Like these 2 stick up and this one's flat. So we're going to continue on from here. Whichever, however many single crochet rows you want to do, you're going to do them just like this. Chain 1 and turn, and then it's a single crochet in each stitch across. So I want to show you something on this one. So, oops, here's our chain 1, and so our single crochet, we can see we've got the 2 double crochets. Those are easy enough to see where our singles are supposed to go, on top of there and on top of there. But then you've got this tiny little single crochet here, and you don't want to miss him. And you can, some people work right into the space if you want to. That's what that would look like. But I do choose to work into the stitch, so you can do that if you want, and then it's just a little bit more tedious to get your hook in there. But either way, you've got 3 single crochets so far. And then here's the block. Okay, you have to remember that the way that we did that grouping, this is the side of a stitch. This one does not count. So you have to skip this one when you're going to do your single crochet rows and just jump over to the top of the block stitch itself. After the block stitch, we did a chain 1, so you can see that easily enough. But you'll want to come from the single crochet that you're doing in the chain over here. You want to jump across this guy and come straight into here. And that'll be your next single crochet. So again, you want to end up with the same count that you did on your first single crochet row. So I was going through and counting every single time to make sure that I didn't do an extra single crochet on the top of that bobble. So however many rows you're going to do, I counted my single crochets each and every time. So your single crochet is going to go into each stitch. So there's the one on the chain. Here's the ones that are on the top of the double crochets. Again, here's the one that we need to do on the side of that bobble. And then the bobble stitch itself. It's not really a bobble stitch. It's called a block stitch. I need to get that straight. So we're going to skip this guy because he's the side of the stitches. And this is the actual chain that we want to go into to do our next single crochet. And then into this one. My very first row, I just, the book gives you quite a few words, and I don't need so many words in my little notes when I'm working it. So I wrote down single crochet in every, and then I had too many single crochets. So again, this row, you want the same amount of single crochets as you had in your first row down here. We're going to look at the top of the block stitch here, and we're going to turn it up, and we're going to skip this because he's the side. He's not the stitch itself, and go into that one. And then we've got 3 more here. So the last single crochet, or the last chain, we're going to do a single crochet on top of each of the doubles. So there's the double, and then here's your end stitch, top of that chain 3, however you like to do, that chain 3. Sometimes people don't like to do a chain 3 on the edge of projects like that. But that's what I'm doing for this one. So I'm going to go ahead and double check, just make sure I've got the right amount of single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, so I'm good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and do a chain 1 and turn. And then you're going to do a single crochet in each row again, in each stitch. So you should have, I'm still going to have 17 when I'm done with this row. Go ahead and do your single crochet row all the way across, and I'll meet you at the end. All right, I've completed my row of single crochets, and we've got one more to do. If you're following the pattern with me and doing 3 rows of single crochets, so you're going to chain 1 and turn, and then do a single crochet in that same first stitch, and then each one across. So when we get to the end of this row, I'm going to show you how to count your single crochet rows in case you get confused. If you've put your work down and you don't remember if you've got 1, 2, or 3, I'll show you how to spot that easily enough. So go ahead and work your 3rd row of single crochets here all the way across, and I'll meet you at the end. All right, I'm all done with my 3 rows of single crochets, and A lot of time during when I was working on the scarf, I would put my project down and have to go back and count where I was, how many rows of single crochet I had done. So I thought it would be a nice little trick to help show you guys. So what I would do first is find the row before my single crochets so that I know what's what. So here's a double crochet that I did a single crochet on top of. So what I count are the legs. So here are the 2 legs of a single crochet. Okay, so from there, here's another 2 legs, and here's another 2 legs. So I know I've got my 1 row, 2 row, 3 row. Sometimes if I would just look at this, you know, some people get a little bit confused on where they're at, but if you count the legs, so here's my double crochet and I did a single into him. So here's 2 legs, 2 legs, and then 2 legs. And that's how I know I've got my 3 rows. Okay. So from there, you're just going to repeat the pattern over and over as long as you want the project to be. We're going to do, I'll go ahead and come out a little bit. Whoops. We're going to do a chain 3 and turn your work. And we're going to do a double crochet in the next stitch. This counts for the first stitch. So you're going to do a double crochet in the next stitch. You're going to do a chain 1 and skip 1. So here's where the double crochet is. We're going to skip this one and we're going to go into this one with a block stitch. So a block stitch is a double crochet. Get my yarn. A double crochet, and then we're going to work that block thing around it. So yarn over and go behind your stitch. Grab that yarn and come back around. Yarn over and pull through 2. Grab your yarn. Go around the post, grab the yarn from behind, whoops, pull it up, yarn over, and pull through 2. Yarn over, go around the post, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, pull through 2. We've got to do that one more time. Yarn over, go around the stitch, grab your yarn, come back up, yarn over, and go through 2. That should leave you with 5 loops on your hook. Yarn over and go through all of it, and that's your block stitch. Now you're going to chain 1, get that hair out of there, chain 1, and you're going to skip 1. So here's where that block post is worked into. So we're going to skip this one and go right into that one. And we're going to have 2 double crochets next to each other. So you can start to see that they stack up on top of each other. And that way you can see if you're off a little bit, your double crochet posts here together don't line up. So go ahead and continue that same repeat. You're going to yarn over, or you're going to chain 1 and you're going to skip 1. So here's where that double comes out of, skip 1, and then you're going to do a block in this next stitch. Double crochet, yarn over, go around your post, grab that yarn and come back up. Yarn over and go through 2. Yarn over, go around the post, grab your yarn, come back up, yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over, go around the post, grab your yarn, come back up, grab the yarn, or a yarn over, and go through 2. One more time. We're going to do this process. You know it in your sleep by now. Yarn over and go through all 5. Yarn over one more. Get that fuzzy. So that's our chain 1. Not yarn over, that's our chain 1, and we're going to skip 1. So here's where the block comes out of, so we're going to skip that one and go into those 2 for a double crochet into each one. We're going to chain 1, skip 1, and do a block stitch in the next. So that's a double crochet. And then our yarn over 4 times. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Gives us 5 loops on the hook. Yarn over and go through all of it. Chain 1, skip 1. Got my chain 1, and I skip 1. This is where he's coming out of, so we're going to skip this one and put 2 double crochets in the last 2 stitches, 1 in each. Oops. And that is the end of the block row. So you're just going to alternate 3 rows of single crochet and your block and bars row, and that's what you end up with. I kind of like playing around with the options of doing only 1 row of single crochet so that these are closer. I like that better for a blanket idea. I liked it kind of spaced out like this for the scarf, but for a blanket I like it kind of much closer than that. And I'm not a fan of single crochet stitches, so that was a pleasant discovery that I could do this pattern for a blanket and just do 1 row of single crochets and it still looks great. So again, if you want your baubles to be on every other side, you'll do 2 rows of single crochet so that you're offsetting the side that the activity is on. I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. Maybe you'll try this pattern for yourself on either a blanket or on a scarf. I think it works up great for either one. And this was with worsted weight yarn, so you really could, in a 5.5, but that was just to work it up, you know, and show you what it would look like. You can use a smaller yarn and a smaller hook, obviously. Mine was, again, a 4.5 for this thinner yarn. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. All right, guys, thank you so much for sitting with me today. I really do appreciate your time. Have a wonderfully blessed day, and I hope you'll come back and see me again. Thanks. Bye-bye.